Episode 1, where the call to prayer first echoed, the Islamic conquest of Gaza. Sword and the story. Here we give a new voice to the sword of history and the tale of truth. In every episode, you will find a story that is not only about the past, but is deeply connected to our present and future. Introduction to the story. A city in Palestine, embraced by the sea, bearing witness to centuries of history, repeatedly conquered, repeatedly devastated, yet every time it rose again. Yes, this is Gaza, a land of Islamic greatness, knowledge, wisdom, and resistance. But when did this story begin? When was the Adhan, call to prayer, first raised here? When was the flag of Tawheed, oneness of God, hoisted? Let us take you back to the 7th century. Yet when Islam was spreading from the Arabian Sea towards the lands of Sham, Syria, and Palestine. The actual story, the conquest of Gaza. The year was 638 AD. Umar ibn al-Khattab, R.A., was the caliph in Medina at the time. After uniting the tribes of Arabia, the Islamic army was advancing towards the land known today as Palestine. The Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, ruled over Syria, Palestine, and Jerusalem at the time. These areas had a Christian majority, but were rife with oppression, corruption, and religious extremism. Under the leadership of Amr ibn al-Asara, a great Islamic army was ordered to proceed towards Palestine. On the way, cities like Damascus and Bethlehem were conquered. Finally, the Islamic army reached the gates of Gaza. Gaza at the time was a fortified city near the sea, important for trade and a defensive stronghold for the Romans. The Islamic army besieged the city. The Roman army resisted, but could not withstand the spiritual strength and military skill of the Muslims for long. Soon, the gates of the city opened. It was the first time the Adhan, call to prayer, echoed on Gaza's land. The first time the message of Allah's oneness and the prophethood of Muhammad Sallallahu was publicly proclaimed here. The first time, Gaza saluted the flag of Islam, establishment of Islamic rule. After the conquest, Amr ibn al-Ara established a system of justice and fairness. Mosques were built, schools established, and immorality and oppression in the markets were eradicated. The people of Gaza accepted Islam wholeheartedly because they saw for the first time a system that did not discriminate based on race, religion, or ethnicity. From then on, Gaza became an Islamic center, a place where religion was taught, spread, and practiced. Presence of the companions, Sahaba. Gaza's importance grew even more when many companions of the Prophet ﷺ settled there. The shrine of Hashim ibn Abd Manaf, the great-grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ, is also located in Gaza, which is why the city is sometimes called Gaza Hashim. The streets of Gaza carry the footprints of these great men who sacrificed everything for Islam. The people directly learned knowledge from these companions, were inspired by their character, and became deeply rooted in Islam. Beginning of Islamic civilization. Within a few years, Gaza became a part of Islamic civilization. The teaching of the Quran became widespread. Islamic courts were established. Trade agreements followed Islamic principles, and people became examples of morality, honesty, and piety. This was not just the conquest of a city. It was the beginning of a movement that spread through Syria, Egypt, Palestine, and later Andalusia. But this was just the beginning. In the next episode, we will take you to the time when a star was born in Gaza, whose light still shines in the skies of Islamic knowledge. Yes, we will talk about the birth, upbringing, and connection of Imam al-Shafi'i R.A. with Gaza. Thought-provoking question. Do we realize that Islam spread not only by the sword, but also through character, knowledge, and justice? If the first Adhan in Gaza wrote history, then we too must raise that first Adhan in our lives, the call to truth, justice, and faith. If you liked this episode, like it. Comment and tell us which part of the story moved you the most. Share it so that Gaza's Islamic history reaches every Muslim. Subscribe and click the bell icon. Wait for the next episode about Imam al-Shafi'i. This was the first episode of YBR The Sword and the Story. We saw how Gaza took refuge in Islam and began a new life. Remember, history is not only in books, it lives in the character of nations. Kristen, Until the next episode, take care of yourself and your faith. Peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you.